All right, we're live to episode 74. Don, I see you out there. D, I see your note out there. We're gonna let y'all filter in, so forth and so on. Be ready for the show today. I didn't even get a chance to go get my other glasses because I need to put the hater blockers on, as D just said. Need to put them on today. Today's show is gonna be about a lot of things. It's going to be about a lot of things. However, welcome to Women in Linux, Tech Stocks and Jobs, where we pretty much go over wealth accumulation. We talk about tech, we talk about stocks, we talk about jobs, we talk about IPOs, we talk about companies that you can work for, how to get there. Wealth accumulation has been the focus. Estate planning has been the focus, and so forth. Before we get to the word from our sponsor, update, update, update. All right, in the store, you all been asking for this. You've been asking for it. We got the shirts. Okay, we got the shirts. All right, so in the shirts, if you go to the store, I'm gonna make that announcement now before we have a word from our sponsor. I love our sponsor. All right. We got D, you want to pull the screen up? We got the Linux Money shirt. You know, those that want to make money in Linux, we got the Linux Money shirt. No estate, no date for men and women and transgender, or identify as a man, identify as a woman, identify as a roach, whatever it is that you identify as. We have that. We also got one skill away, right? One skill away from 200K. Let's go. I need to make, we need to make our 5 million, 10 million, $50 million shirts. We need to get those. All right. All right. Then we also have, no estate, no date, if that's what you're looking for. If you scroll down, you can see we got different colors, however you want to represent that, right? We even got tees for those that want to have their arms out for too broke to argue, right? We too broke to argue. It's hot now. Wear it with your summer blockers, right? Put your shades on. When you feel, and we're gonna talk about energy this morning. When you feel that energy coming to you, we too broke to argue. Back it up, back it up, back it up, back it up. We too broke to argue, right? The other one is what I like, right? No estate, no date, and it's in a T. And if you click on here, you can see the different colors that you can pull it in. Look, see, where with your tats out, work when you're working out. No estate, no date, fellas. When you go to the gym, and the lady is looking at you and she's like, I see you in your hoochie daddy gym shorts. I see your guns. I see you. What's on, Mr. Price? Long time no see. Man, we ain't seen you in forever. Sassy fella. When they in the gym and they like that's I see you in your hoochie daddy shorts and they looking at your kneecaps and your thighs and your calves and they looking at your guns and your chesticles. Tell them. Let them know. If she don't have no estate, ain't no date. Protect yourself. That's all I'm saying. Protect yourself. You out here, you working, you got health, you got wealth, and then you don't want to do the next step. Protect your assets. That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. Then don't Tina Turner have $1 million worth of insurance on her legs? And you mean tell me you don't want to protect the stuff that you have worked hard for? I don't get it. Help me to help you understand. That's all I'm saying. That's right. That's right, free chesticles. You was here last week, Mr. Price. I missed you. We haven't spoken in so long. I feel like it's been like 4 or 5 years. You know, it's all right. We still in the same league. Who that, whatever that, whatever that team is. We don't know who that team is, right? Yeah, Tina Turner and Beyonce got $1 million just for their legs, and you mean to tell me you get up and go to work every single day? And this for women too. Y'all get up and y'all go to work every single day. You don't want to protect yourself. You don't want to protect your family. You don't want to protect your assets. That make it make sense. Here's the excuse. I know. Let me. I don't have my blockers. I don't have my other blockers. But let me. Gonna put some shades on because I know the heat coming. Hold on. I know you know better. This is Ray Charles talking to you. This is Ray T talking to you. Ray T talking to you live. Ray T. I can't see them haters. I don't see it. Oh, let me dip, let me dodge. Like, you better get ready to get out here. You making your tech money, and you're growing your assets, and you're building out your life insurance policies. You're setting yourselves up for greatness. You're setting your family up for greatness, and you don't want to protect it. Make it make sense. I don't understand. I don't understand. No estate, no date. Get your shirts now. You're only one skill away from 200K. And last but not least, my favorite of them all, the originator. There is no other. Hashtag, we too broke to argue. We too broke to argue. We too broke to argue. Don't come over here talking about Tameika. I made 40,000. I made 47,000. I don't want to hear it. We doing I don't want to hear it. 200K is the minimum. Let's go. Let's get a word in from our sponsor. D, you're on the hook. Hey everybody, welcome to Women in Linux. I am Tam and Dee is in the background, and we just want to share with you some of the perks of being here on our channel. All right, so first things first, if you want to connect with us on social media, connect with us anywhere on social media at Women in Linux. If that's just too much for you, you can always come and find us on womeninlinux.org. And if that's not enough, we have even more perks where you can hit the connect button. Once you hit connect button, you put your email address in here, and once you put your email address in here, it'll connect with us in our Slack group. We have tons of resources in our Slack group. People looking for jobs, people just looking for advice, people looking for information, and so forth. Right. So again, this is Slack. It's not Discord. So on with using Slack, I warn you, it is resource heavy. So you may need to use either the web browser, or if you're on your phone, you should be fine. But if you're on your desktop, and we know most of you connect on your computer, it's easier to open it up in your web browser so it doesn't take up so much memory or so many processes and so forth. That's just an FYI. That's how I use it. Okay. And if you would like to shop with us, we still have our stuff from our 5 year stuff. Still good. We're working on more t-shirts. No, no estate, no date. We're still working on that. But again, if you want to shop and you want to get some merch, feel free to come here and get some merch. Again, if you come over here and click on all products, you'll see on all the products that we have, from hoodies to masks and so forth and so on, right? And if that isn't good enough for you, you can donate. You can always donate with your time. You can donate with your money. So, how do you donate with your time? You donate with your time by saying, hey, I would like to do a presentation, or I like to volunteer on helping us grow the channel. You retweet, you share this with other members. In fact, for those of you that come here every single week, we know you come here every single week and you don't subscribe. That helps us grow the channel. That helps us get more content to you. Hey, research isn't easy. I'm not getting paid to do research. I wish it was at a university, but hey, I'm bringing this to you, right? I'm bringing this to you and us and for others, right? So if that doesn't work, you can always donate on PayPal by clicking the donate button. Once you hit the donate button, you have your own denominations in which you can donate. And if that doesn't work for you can always reach out to D and you can cut a check and send a check. That works for us as well. All right. So what are some other things that we actually do have as well? right? So we have a discount with IT Pro TV. You get 30% off. I've used IT Pro TV myself. I've done interviews with them. I'll pull those up as well too. But as you can see, I'm logging into IT Pro TV. What are the benefits here? You need to learn how you learn. So one of the things you can do in IT Pro TV, you can come over here, you can click on courses, and it gives you a list of courses that's separating out by certification and also separate them out by learning paths. You're like, Tameika, what does that mean? My four basic principles or my four basic foundations of skill sets that you should have is Linux. You should also have an automation tool, whether it's Terraform or Ansible. You should know at least a cloud. I don't care. Pick either one. And finally, last but not least, security. And security comes in multiple forms: security of the operating system, security of the application, and also security of containers, right? And cloud security. So it's multiple facets when we're talking about security. Those are your four basics that you're going to need to to get you a job and then move you up. All right. And we're going to talk about our membership here in another video, but I just want to get this out to you. All right. So that's 30% off of IT Pro TV. And last but not least, our Calendly. We have set up for our Calendly. Let me pull that up. I think I have it saved in my browser here, so I can just go straight to it. If not, I'll get it from D here. Here we go, right here. All right. So with Calendly, we have one-on-one sessions. That's where you get to talk to either me or D, and you can request either one. But where you get to talk to us in a one-on-one session, right? Interview prep. Some of you are getting ready for interviews, or you've never interviewed before. We want to prep you for an interview. Resume review. Let's go over what you have, or let's pull all your skills together. Let's get things formatted properly. Let's get everything going. And last but not least, career assessment. What is your journey? What could it look like? What could you be going through? What are your next steps? Some of you are transitioning, some of you are not, some of you are looking to transition, and some of you are just trying to figure out what is your next step. So by saying all of this, we want you to enjoy your time here at Women in Linux. And also, as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the share button, and last but not least, thank yourself that you actually did it. Right? From the corner to the kernel, we're back. We got to get that shirt made. D is not a family joke. It is truly a successful thing that has we have witnessed from the corner to the kernel. I appreciate you, free casual economist. I appreciate you for making that shirt. That slogan, from the corner to the kernel. Couldn't do it anyway. Hey, if we can go from the pole to coding, we can go from the corner to the kernel, right? I'm with it. I see you drinking back there, D. Don't be sitting up there sipping slow. I see you. All right. So I put in the chat for the moderators. Um if you catch any energy drainers, uh boot them out. Like today ain't the day. All right. I did forget one shirt. This is the one shirt that I really wanted, because I want to change the narrative of I got it out the mud. Um, D, bring that shirt up. Uh, I want to change the narrative, right? I want to make the narrative of I got it out the trust, right? I got it out the trust. Like change your mindset, right? Change your mindset. Like stop getting it out the mud and get it out the trust. We was on the phone this week. We was on a call this week with Intentional Millionaire, and we were talking about required minimum distributions, and we was like RMD babies. Who's the RMD babies? Like, are you a RMD baby, right? Did you get? Are you getting your required minimum distributions, right? Right. Change the narrative. I got it out to trust, right? Change the narrative, right? You don't always have to get it out the mud. It's okay to get it out the trust. So it's okay. It's okay that your mom and dad left you a life insurance policy for 3 or 4 million. It's just like, remember that lady uh we looked at, and her granddad left her some money, and she was buying a $20 million house in LA. She got it out the trust. They left her some money. Who was her granddaddy? What did he do? Right? And why did he leave her so much? Was she the only grandkid? Just things you question. But again, I got it out the trust to change the narrative. All right. So we're gonna open up with something that's very important to me. And one of the reasons why I said we're gonna block the haters this morning is normally I don't block the haters. I usually welcome the haters because they um oh, he did leave her instructions on how to use it. Cool. She had cousins, exactly. But the one thing I again, like we always say, don't leave all this money behind for people, and don't leave no instructions. Don't make people who've been making $40,000 a year, and you leave them 5 million, and you're like, oh, you made it. Like, no, leave some instructions. Leave some instructions. Go ahead and buy some of the real estate or something like that. Leave instructions. You know, you still gotta teach. You gotta be a good steward, and you can do that, right? You can do that. You have the power within you to do that, right? So this morning, what's going on, Caleb? This morning I wanted to open up with something I experienced this week, but I experience it all the time. And this is how powerful are your words? But also, I'm leading with this, and we're gonna go somewhere else with it. But I like what the message is here. I haven't finished the video, but the first 15 minutes, the first 10 minutes, I really like what the message is, because I think a lot of times we get in these I want to say YouTube streets, and these are the talking points, because I can honestly tell you that outside of YouTube, nobody really has these points. They're not even talking about this stuff, right? Um, Even that I won't go down the rabbit hole, but anyway, let's get into the video, and then we'll come back. Like I say, it'll be controversial for some, but I like what she said and what they were actually talking about. So let's start. I think it starts here. I might have went too far. Let me back up. Oh no, I didn't. Let's go forward a little bit here. I want to get past this commercial. It's probably about right there.
In the morning meetup, hundreds of people reading books, growing. We get together quarterly. It's amazing. And for some reason, you just keep looking at, just go to themorningmeetup.com and get in the circle. And then you'll be like way happier. Just themorningmeetup.com. Let's get back to the episode.
Welcome to another edition of the Social Proof Podcast. I am Donnie Wiggins, business development coach and strategist and podcaster, and I am sitting here with him. And before we got started, what's your name?
I'm Dave. I'm Andrea's husband.
I swear one day...
I'm just Andrea's
I swear one day we're going to have a super professional format. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like something structured that's sellable.
One of these days.
But today is not the day. So
please.
We were talking about... This brings me to a conversation, and gosh, I got to be careful how I structure this, because there are trendy words that's going around right now, like narcissist, toxic, strong, femininity, gaslighting, masculinity, soft life. There are these words.
That was new.
Soft life is new to you? Is it new to y'all? It's going, right? It's around. So it's women who are declaring that they no longer want to be classified as strong women. They are ready to step into their soft life, right? And I think it's great, but I think we are misrepresenting a couple of things. And I know y'all about to eat me up. But as usual, I don't care.
Yes.
All right.
Got to do it for the content.
Got to do it for the content. So Dre and I, Dave's wife, were talking, and we were talking about...
I'm gonna pause right there because I want to say this before we actually get into it. What I want to say is this: what she's saying, I agree with, but also want to we're gonna pull this back into, not only are your words are powerful, right? Your words are powerful, but I want to lead into, after this conversation, about your words that you use for yourself. And when I say that, I mean, how do you describe yourself? What energy do you have when you walk in the room? What energy do you have when you're talking to people? What energy do you have when you're looking for jobs? What energy do you have when you're meeting people? If you're out here and you're not finding the jobs that you're looking for, if you're not finding the people that you want to center yourself around with, it could be you. And that's the part that I really want to get out of this, is not just the energy, but it's the power of the words that you use, and how you use those words, and how you use those words when you talk about people, when you are presenting someone, when you are introducing others, when you are trying to get to know, and when you're trying to get to network. It's all about energy. It's all about the power of your words. Those things matter. And I can spot a mile away when I am meeting people, and I can spot bad energy up front. I can tell you whether or not this gonna go well or not. I can tell how that person is looking. I can tell by the energy when I walk in the room. If I walk in the room, hey, how y'all doing? Good morning. How's everybody? And somebody's like, well, you're just a chipper person this morning, aren't you? That signifies to me that you're not used to being positive in the morning. That you just can't take it, right? Some people can't take good energy in the morning. Oh man, I used to be mad at baking the eggs in the morning. I used to hate getting up, but then as time go on, it changed, right? It changed, but then that also your environment changes, right? But I want you to take what she's saying, and now, oh my God, take it to heart, but take what she's saying. And it's going to be totally different than what the message that I'm telling you, and what she's talking about is two different things. But I like the delivery of what she's saying, because I think it's important for us. And I'm really talking to the women right now. I think it's important for women to understand, especially in tech. There is a certain type of energy, and men too. Let me rephrase that. Men too. There's a certain type of energy that you bring into an environment, that you bring into a situation. And in tech, there are energy drainers. There are people who use words against you. There are people that use words to describe you. There are people that use words to describe you that actually harm the actual person that you are. And it devalues who you are as a person, because that's the way they want to box you, but it may be also the way they perceive you based upon the energy that you give them. And then some people, let's just be straight up, they're just assholes. So protect your energy and protect the words that people use to describe you. Protect who you are and protect the path you want to have. Stop dictating and letting other people dictate, I should say, where you're going to go. It's your path. Why in the hell would you not want to be happy going down your path? Why not? You have to protect the perception of who you are, and protect how people describe you, and protect who you let into your space and what that energy brings to you. Because people will doubt you, people will push you into a corner where you're forced to fight. And that's really what I'm driving towards here. Is the energy you bring to this space dictates how the show is going to flow. It could dictate how we are going to interact with each other. And it's not a good thing and a bad thing, but it lets me know who you are as a person, right? I try to bring, now messy tea is just messy tea. But anyway, but I try to bring as many positive vibes as I can, right? And we try to make sure that we are giving you who we are as a person. If you meet me in person, I'm the same person that you see here. That there's not like, oh my God, she was so different. Oh my God, she is, no, I'm the same person. Now, when that changes is when you bring something negative, and I'm like, I don't even know what that is. I don't know why you are bringing that to me, right? And we meet a lot of people, and this is another problem that I have, and Dee can vouch for this, is when I'm out and about, we get a lot of people that flock to us all the time. And the people they could be positive, they could be homeless, they could be millionaires, they could be whatever you think of. I meet a lot of people, I get energy from a lot of people, but I also have learned over the years how to take it and just leave it right there and not bring it with me. Now, a lot of times people just want to go with us. A lot of people just want to go. They just want to roll with it. I just want to be in your space. A lot of people want to just be in your space, but you got to protect your space. You got to protect your people. So I'm very protective of who comes into our space, who comes here. I'm very protective of that, right? I'm very protective of that. And I'm reading the comments. I had to take my glasses off to really look here. Yeah, Calvin, yes, energy matters. Um, Azrael, that's right. Some people are constant downers, and yep. Energy is so important. So this goes into another conversation. We're gonna get back to this, but this goes into another conversation while it's flowing in my head. The other part of the conversation is this: is why is it that when I say we want to be on the road to 200K, or you're one skill away from 200K, people will be like, nah, you can't do that. No, you can't make it. Why? What is it in you that says that you can't do that? What is it in you that you got to put out that they can't do it or someone else can't do it? What is it in you that feels that way? What happened to you? What happened? Why do we wake up every day and say what I'm making right now is it? And then I bring this up all the time, and I say this all the time, is what do you think you're worth? So when someone comes to you and you say you're worth this, what do you really think you're worth? Right? What do you think you're worth? And then what do you think you're supposed to have when you're 67? How much money do you really think you're supposed to have? Who dictates that? Who is dictating that? Who's dictating your retirement? Are you going to let your job dictate your retirement? I know some people that be on jobs 15, 20 years and they get 3% raises and they're just there. We just saw that with the guy from Burger King. One year at Burger King, he had been there for 27 years and he got a gift bag or gift bucket or something like that. He didn't get no raise. I have questions. What do you think you're worth? What do you think that is? Where's that coming from? Why are you letting others dictate what you can do? Do it for yourself. Get up every day, and if you got to, roll over them. But you need to get where you need to go, right? Get where you need to go. Aaron Fields, what's going on? All right, so let's get what she's saying deals with something a little bit different, but it's along the same lines. Don't be misconstrued with this. This is going to be you just posted assertive versus aggressive. Okay, here we go.
This negative connotation associated with being a strong woman, especially a strong woman in business. I am asked all the time, Donnie, you're so strong. You're so strong. Do you ever get to be soft? And I think it's highly irresponsible. What's happening right now is there's this meme that goes around, and there's a lot of people who say, I don't desire to be strong. I don't want to teach my children that mom was strong and she had to experience all these things, these downfalls, these heartaches in order to be the woman that she is. And the fact of the matter is, if that's your truth, that's your truth. And I don't think that we have to choose between being strong and soft. And I also don't think that being a strong woman makes you masculine or any less feminine. And I'll explain. So I was talking to your wife the other day, and we were talking about the fact that she's a stay-at-home mom and she supports you. And some people would say that that's her living.
So here's a question, I wanna ask this question, y'all, men, women. Let's respond to this. D, respond to this. Do you think a woman or a man can be strong and soft at the same time? Do you think the two can exist at the same time? Do you think the two can exist at the same time? Put it in the chat.
Her soft life, like she's completely relinquished her corporate career and she's living in her soft life, just kind of supporting her man, and she's not strong. Dre is absolutely strong.
Absolutely.
The type of woman that you have to be to deal with a David.
Golly.
And I'm being serious, like to deal with someone who is often very emotionally disconnected, very submerged into very, but you said this in episodes, very submerged into your business. You have to really be strong to see past the now and to see yourself as a wife who's supporting her husband and building a future and a legacy for the family. You also have to be strong in being a woman who's sitting at home, pregnant, about to deliver, in a couple of months, with a 1-year-old, with a preteen. That's also a strong woman, but she's super feminine, super David, how can I support you? Super open to receiving, and that's her role in the relationship. People oftentimes mistake me for this super masculine woman because of who you see in business, right?
That's why I want to pause that. So what I wanted to pause there is, let's say this. When you are working in tech or willing, and let me back out of tech. Let's not leave that to tech. Let me tell you what happens when you as a woman walking into a car dealership, or as a woman when you're walking into to conduct business. Simple as buying a phone. I can give this experience because I did this yesterday. I went in to go buy a phone because my screen is cracked. Literally, this is what my old phone looks like. It's cracked, right? Nothing I can do on it. So I walked in, and then immediately I walk in, men hop up. Fine, no problem. And then it's, well, what kind of phone are you looking for? It's I gotta hold you as a delicate flower, and blah 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 blah. And are you sure you want this, ma'am? And this is, I don't know. And to me, I'm like, why are you doing that? Just I'm gonna tell you what I want, and I'm gonna tell you why I want it, and don't do that to me. Like, just ask me a question. Like, but it's this perception that I don't know. It's not the fact that I want to be like, oh my God, I'm just like, oh my God, I don't need you, this, that, and other. But it's the perception of I don't know anything, and it's the perception of you don't know what you want, and that's irritating. That's irritating. And as women in tech, and I don't know, I can't speak for men in tech. I can tell you only from my perspective, my experience. Let me say it this way. From my experience in tech, oftentimes you walk in the room and the automatic assumption is that you don't know, and the energy that you receive is that you don't know. So what you have to do is you have to come back and be like, no, this ain't what they're doing. This is what they said. This is how it is. This is what I know. And you have to speak up for yourself, because people will drown you out. It happens often. And so that leads, and the perception is that she's being aggressive. No, you just didn't listen to me. You just didn't listen to me. You just didn't listen to what I said. You glazed over what I said. You glazed over the fact that I'm the person that's the lead on the project, and you want to diminish and always grandstand. There's a lot of grandstanding that goes on in tech. So when you come to my meetups, I give you the 360 view. I give you the real. I want you to know everything. And is it impossible? Absolutely, it's impossible. But over time, it's possible. Anything is possible, right? But I want you to know that you know. If I tell you, hey, go to this directory, make this, go go to this directory, make this file, change these permissions on this file, change the permissions on this directory, build a container, make sure the container has these things, set up a CI/CD pipeline, put that in Terraform, launch that in AWS, Azure, and Google. Once you get down with that, make sure it's secure. Make sure you writing playbooks for that. Make sure you're automating those things. Make sure you have the scan set up for X, Y, and Z. I'm expecting you to know that because I'm going to teach you that. Right? I'm not going to tell you to go out there and read a book and come holler at me later. No. But again, I'm equipping you with things that you should know so that when you get in the room, you don't have to rely on who's in the room to get where you need to go. You at least have a starting point. Because let me tell you, people, and I have conversations with other male engineers, and they say all the time, like, when I walk in the room and talk to other male engineers, they're like, they don't help us. They leave us out here and we don't know. And I had conversations with some managers this week, and they was like, man, you were showing the other engineers how to do things. That goes a long way with others. Again, that's just who I am as a person. But oftentimes I get thrown in things in places and people be like, she'll figure it out. And I'm telling you, from a perspective, people are going to do that. So they're going to look at your assertiveness as aggressiveness. And it happens for men too. They look at it as assertiveness and aggression. And some people are just assholes. There are men assholes, there are women assholes, some people just assholes. Let's not get that misconstrued. But again, it's all about the energy you're willing to receive and the energy that you want to put out there, right? Right? We got to be careful with that, and you got to protect that. So I try to equip you when you come here, when you go out in the world and you're having conversations with people, not just from a tech perspective, but also from a wealth perspective, right? Knowledge is wealth. If you go out here and you don't even know how to talk about what a stock is, what a 401k is, a IRA, wealth accumulation, wealth preservation, Roth conversion. If you don't even know those if you don't have that knowledge, and so you can be in the conversation, so you can be in the room, we're failing over here. I want you to be able to be in the room to have the conversation, to understand when I say RMD, you know what that is. When I say ETF, you know what that is. If I go over and say an index fund, you know what it is. An annuity, you know what that is. We even talked about the crummy trust. You know what it is. Have the knowledge, at least to know the definition of what it is. You may not know exactly how it applies. You may have an idea, but you're really not sure. But you can be in the room and you can understand it. You could be in the room and say, okay, I got it. Right? So I want you to have that in your toolbox to build up your knowledge. No one taught me none of this when I was coming through tech. Nobody talked about wealth accumulation as coming through tech. No one talked about that. No one talked about, hey, you made this money over here and go invest it. Hey, you made this money in here, you go over here and do this. No one talked about that. Even in tech, that is not a conversation that we were having. Those conversations didn't come to maybe when I moved to Florida in 2011. By the time I had been in tech since 2007, so 4 years later, right? But I'm for those of you that are in tech or new to tech or transitioning over to some tech careers, the time is now. Don't stray away from being a good steward of your money, an investor. Stop listening to people that don't know. Ask questions. Get in the room. Start having conversations with people like, oh, so now you ask your coworkers, hey, do you invest in stuff? Where are you looking at investing? What are you invested in? Some people buy coins, some people buy gold, some people buy silver, some buy watches. Ask them about their assets. Ask those questions. There's nothing wrong with having that conversation. There's nothing wrong with having that. And they don't want to give you the information. Okay, cool, fine. Thank you, but okay, keep it pushing. Ask around where people are investing in. Some people buy boats. Some people flip rentals. Some people buy mansions and flip mansions. It depends. Some people got short-term rentals. Some people got long-term rentals, right? But ask the questions. All right, let's get back to it.
And I'm not masculine in any area of my life. Honestly, I'm assertive. And you can be feminine and assertive. You can be strong and assertive. In business, it's really important that, especially as a woman, that you make it clear that you're not to be played with in certain types of ways. It's also very important that you make it clear that I am here for business and not here for all of the other hanky-panky. So I am not as giggly in business as I might be if we're hanging out at a restaurant on a couple's date, on a date, or in any other setting. And I think when we're saying things like, I no longer want to be known as a strong woman, I think it's a huge slap in the face for all the women who came before us. Like all of our ancestors and our grandmothers and our mothers who had to be strong, right? And strength doesn't.
All right. So when she said that, this is what I thought to myself when she said that. How can you how can you march in the 70s and get water hose down with a water hose, and then dogs let loose on you, and being slapped with billy clubs, and being set on fire, hung from trees, um, and not be strong? I just want to know. It, you tell me, right? I don't think a woman's femininity at that point when the dog is attacking her, or a man, his strength when the dog is attacking you could help, but you got to fight them off. At some point, instincts kick in, right? Survival kicks in, right? So we get caught up in these echo chambers about, oh, she's too strong or she's too this. But let me tell you something. Let me flip the script on that one. If you are a military wife and your husband is going out to sea for 90 days, a year, um, the femininity role, I don't want to say goes out the window, but being able to make sure that the household is maintained, being able to make sure that things are getting done kicks in, right? And I don't know how many of y'all have had to be military wives. I don't know how many of y'all had to sit back and wait till somebody go to war and come back, and you may not see them for a year or 2 years. I don't know if you ever had to play that role. But that role is, guess what needs to happen? If the car breaks down, she got to go get it fixed. If the baby needs to go to the doctor, she's got to get up and go back to get up and go to the doctor. And by the way, if she got other kids, she got to make sure they're okay. Oh, and by the way, the grass needs to get cut. Oh, and by the way, and you may not be able to afford to pay for someone to cut the grass. And oh, by the way, there's a flat in the tire. Oh, and by the way, she need to change it, or she need to have AAA. Y'all need to have roadside assistance. And oh, by the way, she needs to go get new tires on the car because they're bald. But she needs to be able to identify that the tires are bald on the car, so it's a hazard, and it's a hazard to her and the kids. So stop saying that when we are out here, you're being strong. No, it's about survival. It's about, I need to do these things every single day, right? And I think people get caught up in these conversations as if there's only one way to be married. There's only one way to live, right? Like when I look at it, everybody doesn't have a husband at home with them every day or a wife at home with them every single day. It doesn't happen like that for everybody. Some men go off to sea, some women go out to sea. My cousin was married to a Navy wife. She was a Navy wife. He was at home with the kids and she was out to sea. He was doing construction at home. He had to wait for her to come back. So the roles, people have different roles when it comes to marriages and relationships and so forth. It depends on who you are. What works for you works for you. But what I'm truly saying is energy, assertiveness, aggressiveness, know when to use them, know when they need to be used. Everybody has a role to play. And sometimes roles flip. Sometimes the role that you are being aggressive, you may need to be a little calm. That may not be the time. You got to know when to kick it in and when to turn it off. And sometimes you got to remember that you may come across just a little harsh for people. So sometimes you need to dial it back. That's all I'm saying. Let's get back to it.
Mean masculine. Like if you are a woman and single and a mom, you had to be strong enough to put food on the table for your kids. You had to be strong enough to make it through that failed relationship that produced that child in order to continue to go on and be a woman. You have to be strong enough to be a CEO. You have to be strong enough to make it past any kind of hurdle. You have to be strong enough to make certain decisions, and that doesn't make you any less feminine than a woman who allows someone else to make all the decisions for her.
I agree. I try not to really dig in too deep into what somebody says because their definition of a word that they're using has a different meaning to them.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say, for instance, somebody called me slow. Like, yo, David's so slow. Well, that might be their perception, but I'm calculating. I'm careful.
Mm.
I'm like, I don't rush to make decisions.
Mm-hmm.
So the person that's saying I'm slow is probably somebody that's used to rushing and making mistakes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm more calculated.
Yeah.
Right? So, but when someone uses a word, that's them defining it in their mind.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, I try not to argue like,
I want you to peep what he said right there. He said when someone is using a word, that's the definition they have in their head. Right? So when I say to you, or when I say, hey, you're only one skill away from 200K, or when I say, hey, build the people up around you, go for it. Or when I say, hey, you need to study and you need to build this. Or when someone says, hey, you're being aggressive, what does that mean to you? Right? And you got to find, and this is just my take on this. You got to find the person that has the same definition of the word as you. That's how I'm gonna put that. So you got to find someone that has the same definition of the word as you, and that's your person. And I think what they were saying was so important because we you get, and I saw your comments earlier about the 40, I think it was 40 to 50K, or people can't imagine being at 200K. And to me, I can't imagine going back to 40 or 50K. There's no way I would imagine it. And I look at countless of videos and people, especially men, they were like, there's no way in the world I can imagine making anything less than $1 million. There's no way in the world I can imagine making less than 50 million. Like once you get there, you don't get to 50 million and be like, well, I made it, I'm gonna go back to like this 40,000. You just don't even imagine that. It don't even come across your mindset to do that, because your mind is not even at that mindset. Like the 40 to $50,000 mindset, 80 to 100,000 mindset, 60, 100,000 to 200,000 mindset. Each level you're gonna level up in the mindset and the way you acquire assets and the way you look at people and the way you move changes. And I'm not telling you can't be friends if you at $1 million and somebody's at 40,000. You can't be friends with them. All I'm simply saying is the mindset is different. How you look at life is different. What you look at life and how you receive people is totally different. If that all this makes sense to you, put a one in the chat. Put a one in the chat. Because what I often see in all of these spaces is we have a fear of success. And I've seen this a lot, a fear of success. And I don't know where this comes from. I don't know why you fear being successful. I don't know why you fear being successful for yourself. I don't know why you fear success for others. Oh, I love that part. Oh, I love that part. You people get mad and people get upset when they see others being successful because it's not them, or you have this fear you're going to get left behind, or you have this fear this person. What is that about? Why do you fear others being successful? I never understood that. Why would I be scared because you went out and made $1 million? In fact, I'm inspired. What did you do? Let me have a conversation with you. You got a fear of others being successful. How in the hell does that work? How in the hell can you be? How can you be mad at somebody else being successful? Why are you mad? What are you doing in your life where you're not getting there? That shit blows my mind every single time. Blows my mind every single time. Blows my mind every single time. I get in rooms with people and they're like, it's to the point now. It's to the point now where you can't even talk about today. I earned $75,000, or I got this new job and it's gonna bring me in 250,000, or I got this contract and it's gonna bring me in 190,000, or I got this contract, it's gonna help me hire, I got this contract and I can hire other people so they can come along with me, my tribe. I can hire my tribe to come along with me. Like, what the hell is that? Where is that coming from? Who the hell are you to who the hell are you? Just leave it right there. Who the hell are you? Like, we got to have, damn it, we got to have more respect for others, and damn it, be happy for me. I don't want you around me if you can't be happy for me. I don't want you around me if you don't want to grow. I don't want you around me if you don't want to build. What the hell is that? Why you don't want 50 million? You go play that lottery and you want that 1.28 billion, right? Right. You want that 1.28 billion, right? Right. Okay. So you can't sit up here and tell me you don't want and you don't need and you don't see the value in. Stop trying to tell people that when they make it, when they get the 200,000, they don't need no more money. Stop telling people when they make $1 million, they don't need no more money. Stop telling people that. Who are you to tell them that that's all, that they don't need no more? You don't tell Elon that he keep getting billions. You don't tell Bill Gates that. You don't tell Oprah that. In fact, they don't even listen to you. Like, why are you upset? It doesn't make no sense to me. That's energy. Your words are powerful. The words, like, put in the chat how you would describe yourself. Put in the chat one word that describes yourself. One word that describes yourself. Put in the chat one word that describes yourself. Like, what describes you? Right? Think about it. What describes you? Don said Karen. D says servant leadership equals a leadership leadership philosophy in which the goal of the leader is to serve. D say multiplier. Free says exuberant. Data Christian says evolved. Down to earth says introvert. Resilient says Desi B. Put in the chat how you describe yourself. Because words have power. Those words have power. Those words have meaning. Those words have have definitions behind them that show who you are, but not only that, when you walk in the room, I'm telling you, when people see you walk in the room, there's automatic, you can just look at the room and just see question marks go up around people's faces. You can see the question marks go around people's faces. And those question marks are people determining what word to describe you as. How can I box you in? How can I make this box so this person is comfortable with in the room with me? How can I put this person in a box so that they are I'm okay with who they are? People box you in all the time. Tommy says fierce. Kevin says impact. Kelvin says impactful. Donna Garnett says creator. Engineering cannabis, I call you EC for short, says calculative, tenacious, right? When you walk in the room, and I don't know if people notice this, but I'm very, 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 very conscious about this. When I talk to people, I look at them in their eyes. The eyes don't lie. Your facial expressions don't lie. Your body language tells me everything I need to know. When I look at you, whatever your words are saying, your body language also speaks to me. So if I'm looking you in your eye and I don't receive what you're saying out your mouth as to be true, I know how to put you in whatever box that is at that time. And people do that all the time. They put you in a box based on your watch, on your clothes, how you wear your hair, what shoes you got on, what clothes you got on, what fragrance you got on. I'm gonna box you into. I'm put you in this box because I'm comfortable with those four walls being around you. Because now I can take you out of that box when I need to, and I can manipulate you whenever I need to, and then I put you back in that box. And people do live life like that, and people will treat you like that. And the question is that okay with you? If you're fierce, is that okay with you, Tommy? If you're diligent, free, is that okay with you? Let me know if that's okay with you. That okay with you? Is that okay with you for somebody to box you in? Is it okay with you? Again, some people be like, yeah, that's okay with you. Because again, some people be like, well, that's their issue. And it is, but it's also an issue for you because now it's just another layer that you have to try to work through in order to understand how to work with that person. There's layers when it comes to working with people. There's layers. Data Christian says our brains are outdated and wants to categorize, but we're evolving past those labels. I don't think we are. I think we're regressing. I think we're regressing. I think we're regressing back into those labels. I think we're regressing. There's one more blue part of this clip that I want to finish off that she something that she said that's really true, and I'm gonna put this in here. So let's go back to the show.
Okay, whether I'm feminine or masculine, or because that's them.
Yeah.
Portray how they believe that word to be defined.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
but the fact is that argument is being made, and it's being made in a very, very large way right now. And I just want women to not feel bad if you are a woman having to be strong. To wake up every single day, get out of bed, and make it through the adversities of what you may deal with in your day requires you to be a strong woman. And don't feel like just because you're a strong woman, you're not a feminine woman. Or just because you're a strong woman, you don't deserve to be treated delicately. You can be strong and delicate.
yeah.
Right? You can be, you may have to get through something. You know, you may have to get through a heartbreak, but you still deserve to be treated delicately. You still deserve for doors to be opened for you. You still deserve to be loved and courted the way that you want to be loved and courted and respected. Being strong is not a synonym for masculine. And that's what I want to, and I think
that's what I wanted to hear right there. That's why I wanted to play. Being strong is not a synonym for masculine. Say that shit in the back for so people can hear it. right? Just because you're strong don't mean you're masculine. Like, God dang, that's not what that means. So when women get offended because you call them masculine, she has a right to be offended because you call them masculine. But I can go off into the deep bowels of hell on this conversation. But the point I'm making is the energy that you put out there and the energy that's in place is so important. And the energy that you walk in the room with and the energy that you allow into your space is important, right? Yeah. And I hear you down to earth. You don't do the strong woman thing. And I don't know, I don't even know what that means, right? I don't even know what that means. I don't do the strong woman thing. I don't even know what that means. Also, the antonym to strong is weak or fragile, not soft. Who wants to be weak or fragile? Alex, I don't know if you're a man or a woman. I'm assuming you're a man. But you have to ask yourself is do you want a weak or fragile woman, right? Like what does that mean, right? Do you want a uh you got to ask yourself that. And I think I think people get construed. This is what I think every man, every woman has their own. You're a woman, okay? I think every man and every woman has their idea of who their person is and what they want that person to be in their life. I don't think two men think the same or looking for the same type of woman. I think there are certain things that you need from your significant other that dictates that, right? And I think when I say be strong, meaning like you're gonna walk into some rooms and some people are gonna dismiss you. And so you have to be mindful of not to break down because of that. And don't get me wrong, it don't have to come from men, it be women too. Women would do it to each other. It don't matter the race either. It don't matter the race. It don't matter if they're Indian. It don't matter if they're white. It don't matter if they're black. It don't matter if they're Hispanic. Women would dismiss you in a room full of engineers just because you're a woman, just because they don't trust you. Women do it to each other all the time. Yeah, I think every man and every woman has a fragile moment. I think every man and woman has a strong moment. I think they're I think you have to play. I think you have to play whatever it is that you need to play at that time. You have to use that every single time. I think you have to know when to use it though. Would you say D? Now the next question is: how are these words, boxed or unboxed, spoken or unspoken, affect your daily decisions? They do. They affect your daily decisions. They affect how you come across in meetings. They also affect how what you say in meetings and how people actually talk to you in meetings. Right? When people know that you're very sensitive, people will walk on eggshells. If they know that you're sensitive, they won't invite you to the meetings. They'll just give you the results of that. If they feel that you can take it, they go ahead and say what it is that they have to say. Um, it does play out in your everyday decision at work, but it can also play out in your everyday decision at home, right? Your husband may choose to talk to you a different way. You may choose to talk to your husband a different way because it may be a touchy subject, excuse me, a touchy subject, or it could be a number of things, but it happens. Um, just putting that out there. Uh, Down to earth. Alex says that down to earth, every human has moments of fragility that seldom intentional. Right, right. So again, yeah, it affects your brand. Right. Again, it goes back down to the perception, and that's why I asked you to put the words in the chat of how you describe yourself. Now the question is, do others see you that way? When people think about you, do others see you that way? And you say, oh, well, what others? think about me is not important. And we can say that, right? We can say that. But in some instances, it is important because it also comes off of how people treat you, right? How people treat you. If they know that you're fragile, they be like, well, we ain't gonna mention that to that person because we gonna we're gonna be here forever. They're gonna go into a tailspin. So we ain't gonna mention that to that person, right? So I just want to put that out there this morning about energy. All right. All right. So I got a whole bunch of other stuff that I need to get into, but we ain't gonna make all our stuff. But we are gonna talk about some things other than what we've been talking about. So I went on a spree last night and over the past couple of days on where startups are growing, and so forth and so on. So this startup right here is in Denver. And it's the title is Denver Area Digital Male Fertility Platform raises 6 million in seed money. All right. It's never been more important to have males who are 50% of the equation understand their fertility better. Right. So this is a startup out of Denver. We'll go look and see what kind of jobs they have. Again, tech stocks and jobs. Back to our regularly scheduled program. But let's look at what they say here. A digital fertility platform created in Parker raised $6 million. Let me blow that up because it looks small. Raised $6 million in seed funding to expand the access to fertility care to more states and to continue its goal in involving men in the conversation about reproductive health. Prosperity Health was established during C19 when Pam Pure, a digital healthcare executive, teamed up with her husband, uh, Barrett Cowan, who's one of the only 200 reproductive urologists in the United States. He probably makes bank if it's only 200 of them. The client uses telehealth to access male fertility, offer educational resources, and treat patients. This digital method helps expand the access to male fertility treatment to places where it typically would be unavailable. It also creates an easier pathway to care for men who otherwise wouldn't go to a physical clinic because of the stigma associated with male infertility. Right? We need to break the stigma because it turns out that when a couple is having a hard time, half of the time is due to the male factor, but everybody thinks it's the female, Cowan said. With increased awareness of male fertility, we realized that we could really help couples conceive more easily, more quickly, and less invasively. Right? So this often comes up, right? Be the ability to have kids. This is another conversation that comes up is when the woman gets older, she runs the risk of having a geriatric pregnancy. What they don't talk about is as the man gets older too, he runs the risk of that woman having as we say, an old man or old baby. That's what we say. But again, it happens. But what I want to say is this: it goes back full circle when we talk about uh, wealth, right? Including that health conversation as you're building is important. So the fertility drugs or whatever it is that you're doing, whatever is natural, whatever the case may be, make sure you're taking care of yourself. Make sure you're doing what do your due diligence on your end to make sure that you have a healthy and successful life. Make sure you're having a healthy marriage or a relationship, whatever the case may be. We want to make sure we do that. So let's go check this company out. Let's see if they got Parker Increase, blah blah blah. Prosperity Health is the name of the company. They just raised 6 million. Let's see if we can find them. All right, your trusted male fertility. They also have financing about us, the leadership team. Let's go look at their leadership team. They're based out of Denver, so I wasn't expecting much there. Let me see if they got any jobs down here. They got partners, the OBGYN. No, they don't have any jobs listed yet. They just did 6 million, so they probably haven't started hiring yet, right? They probably started hadn't hiring yet, but they're based out of Denver, so that's just a FYI on that one. They don't have any jobs. This one is another one that I found, and all this came from the Business Journal when I was looking this up. So, all right, so here's the Business Journal. Experimenting with Web3 and NFTs. That needs to go away whenever that goes away. All right, it's not gonna go away. Okay, cool. All right, so let's see if I can get it. Experimenting with Web3, how Denver area, what is it? How Denver area, let me bring it over here because I can't read it. Let me see if they're gonna go away on the next screen. I probably have to open up in Firefox or something. So how Denver area companies are using NFTs. All right. So how are they using NFTs? Oh, let me get some power. All right. So how are they using NFTs? All right. The market for crypto assets exploded in popularity during the past year. About 25 billion spent in 2021 on NFTs, and some worldwide brands opting in to sell them. NFTs are considered unique assets that are stored in a blockchain that can't be replicated. We talked about this earlier this year about the house down in Gulfport that was bought with an NFT. We talked about that. We also talked about the painting that was actually sold in that house as an NFT as well too. Right? NFTs means purchasers retain ownership of the work. Some people collect NFTs for personal enjoyment, while others treat them as a speculative as assets that they hope will appreciate in value and can be sold for profit. Um, I encourage you to look at where you're getting your 401ks, your IRAs, and so forth, because I think Charles Schwab now does, they let you they let you invest in crypto under grayscale. Let me see if I can pull that up. Let me see, Charles Schwab, um grayscale. Where my mouse go? There it is. Yeah, right here. um yeah. So they have cryptocurrency, Y Invest, Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, Ethereum Trust. They have Grayscale Litecoin, Bitewise, Osprey. They have all of these right here. They even have Bitcoin on futures. They got mutual funds and ETFs, the cryptocurrency stocks, and this is all on Charles Schwab. And if I'm not mistaken, they're also trying to pull in NFTs. If I'm not mistaken, let me look that up. Let me double verify that. Let's see. They right now they just as of they're just talking about it here. What NFTs, taxes, risk, and more. And this is all on Charles Schwab's site. And they go over the basics and the taxation and then where to start. Um, Talk about MetaMask and so forth. I saw another article with them in NFT. So be on the lookout for that. Let me do some more research on that. Right. Let me do some more research on that one. All right. All right, so let's see. NFTs have been around for about a decade, but the report from Dat Radar, which tracks blockchain activity, shows the market growth skyrocketed in 2021 and 24 from 20 climbing to 24.9 billion from 94 0.9 billion in 2020. All right, so various industries in the Denver area are using NFTs from farming, or I guess I should say farm. Farm is a land restoration investment platform, right? Based out of Fort Collins. Farm, a land restoration investment platform based in Fort Collins, is using the sale of NFTs to fund a real real world restoration project of 78 acres in the San Luis Valley. So farm. Let me see what else we got here. Three local breweries, Resolute Brewery, Denver Beer Company, and Great Divide Brewing partner with this month to sell 18 NFTs. Right. Let me continue. Outside Inc. Outside.io. Outside released its Outverse Passport on July 20th, describing it as an NFT marketplace with a mission to get people outside. The Boulder-based media company Outside in Inc. recently launched Outerverse Passport, describing it as an NFT marketplace with a mission to get people outdoors. Outside has added numerous publications to its media portfolio, as well as technologies like GPS apps and outdoor events companies. Right. Let's go here. Oh, that was it right there. So we got beer. We got NFT marketplace called Outside.io. We can go check them out. Outerverse minting clothes. 5 sold, 230 updates spiking for collection. James Arnold and Outside. NFTs designed to get you outside. Right. So here's a little bit about them. Right. Their trail map, their NFTs. They also look like they're doing some stuff in Austin and New York. And you have a passport. Right? Interesting concept. And you can join the community. All right, along the lines of Web3, all right, along the lines of Web3, this is what I find. Denver-based insurance brokerage makes its first transaction doing the blockchain. I think in 3 to 5 years that every certificate will be issued on the blockchain. Right. So Denver headquarter IMA Financial Group, one of the largest employee-owned private insurance brokers in the country, became this week's first broker to issue certificate of insurance using blockchain technology. IMA believes that the transaction proves that the concept of using blockchain for insurance transactions, which it thinks will be become a standard practice. What's the name of this company? IMA Financial Group, right? I don't know if they got any jobs. Let's go check it out and see. IMA Financial Group. Careers. All right. View current openings. Let's do just a search. Let's see what we get back. All right. So here are jobs. Blow it up here. We'll go back to see what they're doing. So they're looking for an operations manager, a vendor payables manager, a surety account representative, contractual certification technician, a client executive, senior corporate recruiter, a barista for public relations, client executive. I'm just looking to see what they got, what kind of jobs they have, marketing. Let me go up here and see if they got a filter too. They're all over too. They're all over. Looks like they're Washington, Utah, Texas, Pennsylvania, Oregon, Kansas, Colorado, Pasadena, and remote. So I'm just gonna click on remote here. All right, what they have remote? An account analyst. Everything else is on site. Oh, to that location, right? Oh, and then let me do this. Can we do a search by? Oh, they don't have it divided up into engineering or not, right? So you will have to scroll through their page to see what they have. I'm curious. I want to see about if they had a data person or a blockchain position open. That's what I'm really looking for. Let me go back up here. Let me do blockchain. Nope, no blockchain. Let me look up data. Do have something on the data. Operations, accounting specialist, hospitality office, marketing, client analyst, account coordinator, executive risk senior broker, employee benefit senior account manager, account executive, executive risk, and they look like they got two more pages of this. All right. I don't see any tech jobs, but I could be looking wrong. I could be looking wrong. I could be looking wrong. But the name of that company is IMA Financial Group. Because I would wonder who they would farm their blockchain out to, if that was the case. IMA has a large number of clients that are involved in Web3, which incorporate ideas such as blockchain technologies and token-based economics. The goal with Web3 Labs is to explore the risk associated with digital assets and blockchain. Our thoughts was, if we're going to be charged with protecting these companies' assets, we need to be involved where they operate. So here's a question I have, and you all can probably look this up. If you have NFTs, how is that calculated in your net worth? I haven't. All I've seen is other, but how are people looking at NFTs? Like if you got land in the metaverse, how is that being calculated in your net worth? Is it being calculated in your net worth? Right? How? What does that look like? What does your digital assets look like? And that I have to add that to our list. Your digital assets. How is that calculated in your overall net worth, and can it be included? I'm not sure. How does the IRS look at it, or is it approved? Like, if you need to be an accredited investor, say you had over a million in land in the metaverse, can that be used to calculate your net worth? Because you got to file your taxes, because it comes up on your tax return, right? So how is that looked at? I don't know, right? That's a question I would have for those of you that are invested in the metaverse, right? But that's questions that I have. NFT's been around, blah 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 blah. Woo woo woo. IMA doesn't want to be the only insurance broker using blockchain technology to make transactions. The company hopes more brokers will get involved and to help perfect the process. Our goal is to push the entire industry forward and showcase what's possible. With this, we wanted to say it's possible because we just did it. Now let's all participate, right? So insurance companies, private insurance companies, being invested in the blockchain, right? Being invested in the blockchain, right? All right, so what was the next one here? That was NFT. Make sure we get all these right. All right, so I'm going to say this one. This is going to be controversial. This is going to be controversial. Here's how much money it takes to be considered financially comfortable in 12 major U.S. cities. My question is, how much is it going to take for you to be financially comfortable? Whether you're married, single, whether you what does that look like? Married, single, divorced, whatever, widow, whatever. What is that going to look like for you? Yeah, it's going to be controversial. All right, y'all ready? All right, let's go. All right, it says somewhere between living paycheck to paycheck and owning a yacht, Americans are considered financially comfortable. If you have a net worth of 774,000, a recent survey says. Have you calculated your net worth? D, we need to put on the calendar our conversation for net worth, our conversations for private equity funds. We need to do our Q&A. We need to get that stuff done. But again, they're saying what's your net worth. Who I know, Don, you calculated your net worth. Who else in here has calculated their net worth? Tell me you've done those things. Tell me you went and did those. When you went and did that. How do you know where you're going if you don't know what you got? All right, and where to put the right. Also, the other conversation about tax strategies. Tax strategies. We need to have that conversation, right? It says, however, the amount changes depending on the city. You would need a net worth well over $1 million to be considered financially comfortable by your peers in cities with a high cost of living like San Francisco and New York. According to the financial services at Charles Schwab, the annual modern wealth survey, and I'll click on that in a minute. Let me just open that up, a new tab. Here we go. In San Francisco, we're going to say, here we go. Respondents considered financially comfortably is a net worth of 1.7 million, the highest total in the survey, which examined 12 of the largest metropolitan cities. Let's get busy. 1.7 million in San Francisco, 1.4 million in New York, 1.3 million in Southern California, which is inclusive of Los Angeles and San Diego, Seattle 1.2, Washington D.C. 1.1 million, Chicago 956,000, Houston 919,000, Boston 892,000, Dallas 840,000, Atlanta 771,000, Phoenix 740,000, and Denver 671,000. I will go ahead and say Longmont is the actual city that's probably more than Denver, because Longmont got money. I think Douglas County is the richest county in the area, and we're talking money there. So don't be fooled by that 671,000, and you move your ass out here to Denver, and you be like, ooh, ooh, ow, ooh, ah, ooh. No, don't do it. Don't do it. All right, you need to calculate it. 919. So calculate your net worth. Are you there? Are you there? 1.1 million in DC. I can see that all day, every day. The top five I see all day, every day. Atlanta, I can see 771,000 in Atlanta. I can see that. All right. So it says the online survey was conducted in February with a sample of 500 to 750 residents for each metropolitan area, and they range from ages 21 to 75. Again, the term can be subjective. That will mean different things to different people. It could mean having a lot of disposable income, or it could mean simply owning a house. You could own a house that's $1 million, but you still gotta pay for it though. You still gotta maintain it. You still gotta keep it up, right? To help put things in perspective, the median net worth household in 2019 was 121,000, according to the Federal Reserve in the most recent data. The net worth is the measure of the value of assets a person has or corporation minus the liabilities they owe, right? Minus the liabilities that they owe, right? So let's look. Here's the participant research right here. Inflation is now the top obstacle. Blah 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 blah. Workers believe they'll need to save an average of 1.7 million for retirement, down from 1.9 million in last year's survey. I'm gonna say I don't think that's true. I saw in a video somewhere they were saying if a woman decides to stay single, she's gonna need to have 2.5 million in retirement. That makes sense to me, but again, it depends on what your drawdown is, and what I'm reading and hearing that the drawdown of 4% is garbage. Is what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that needs to be tossed out. I'm hearing that you may want to bump that up, right? I'm hearing that you may want to bump that up. But it all depends on what your strategy is now, your tax strategy, your educational strategy in terms of your skill sets and how you acquire assets. All that happens needs to happen now, right? You need to have a plan now. You need to start talking to tax strategists. You need to start talking to wealth managers now. Don't wait till you get in your late 60s talking about this. Don't do it. Don't set yourself up. Don't stress yourself out. And don't wait till you get to your 60s where you're in the age of like, will a company hire you, or you're worried about can you still be employed. Don't do it to yourself. Don't do it to yourself. Do it now. Find out now. Find out what your net worth is. What do you owe? What do you want your net worth to be? Right. You got to be an accredited investor. You have to have. Let me pull it up because people be like, "Where you get this from?" And I don't make this up. This is straight from Investopedia. Um, accredited investor. Straight from Wikipedia, Investopedia. All right, accredited investor. Here we go. Right, accredited investor are those individuals classified by the SEC as qualified to invest in complex or sophisticated types of securities. The reason why I'm pushing you to 200K is so that you can. If I create a private equity fund, I can't have you invested in that fund because you're not an accredited investor. If we create a hedge fund, you can't invest in it because you're not an accredited investor, right? That's 200K is real easy to me to get you to. Having $1 million in assets, meaning you have to have money to go buy the assets, or you have to have a strategy to use other people's money to go buy the assets, seems a little harder to me. That's just to me. It may be easy to you, but that's just to me. All right. To become accredited, certain criteria must be met, such as having an average yearly income of over 200,000 or working in the financial industry. Sellers of unregistered securities are only allowed to sell to accredited investors who are deemed financially sophisticated enough to bear the risk. Accredited investors are allowed to buy and invest in unregistered securities as long as they satisfy one or more requirements regarding income, net worth, asset size, governance status, or professional experience. Unregistered securities are considered inherently riskier because they lack the normal disclosures that with the SEC registration. So, accredited investors, let's go here. Requirements for accredited investors. All right. To be an accredited investor, a person must have an annual income. This is only the single person, the one person, of 200, exceeding 200,000, 300,000 for joint. So this is where it's beneficial. Well, you're married, right? Where the two of you are married on paper, or by some type of deemed legal organization that says, hey, these two together in this union, they are worth 300,000. I don't care how you get to 300,000. It could be 250 and a 50. It could be 200 and 100. It's whatever that makeup is, but together, jointly, it's only 300,000. For the last 2 years, with the expectation of the earning the same or higher in the current year. So basically 3 years. So right. So the last 2 years you need to be at over 200, and then the current year that you in, you need to be there too, exceeding, right? For joint is three. An individual must have earned income above the thresholds either alone or with a spouse over the last 2 years. The income test cannot be satisfied by showing 1 year of individual's income and the next 2 years a joint income with a spouse. A person is considered an accredited investor if they have a net worth exceeding $1 million, either individually or jointly with a spouse. The SEC considers a person to be an accredited investor if they are a general partner or executive or director for a company that is issuing unregistered securities. The entity is considered an accredited investor if it is a private business development company or an organization with assets exceeding 5 million. Also, if an entity consists of equity owners who are accredited investors, the entity itself is an accredited investor. However, an organization cannot be formed with the sole purpose of purchasing specific securities, right? And here's the recent changes as of 2020. The amendments now allow investors to qualify as accredited investors based on defined measures of professional knowledge, experience, or certifications in addition to the existing test or income or net worth. The amendment also expands the list of entities that may qualify as accredited investors, including by allowing any entity that meets investments to test to qualify, right? And I'll give you this link so you can go and read more about it, right? So you can go read more about it, and they break it down who qualifies, how, and you can also take tests, right? So the test, the FINRA Series 7, 62, and 65 can also be act as an accredited investor. There are a few additional methods that are less relevant, such as somebody managing a trust with more than 5 million in assets. I got it out the trust, right? Set your family members up or your friends or whoever you're gonna leave as their executor or something of that nature to not have to work so hard to be an accredited investor. Make sure you put in your instructions, you leave instructions to say, hey, you are now an accredited investor. I have also left instructions for you to partner with these people to continue to grow the trust, to continue to grow these assets, right? Make smart financial decisions now, leave instructions for later, right? Partner with people, watch the energy that you're having, watch the energy of the people you invest with, watch the energy of the people you want executive of your estates. Understand who you putting at the head there, right? You don't want somebody that's gonna rip off your family, right? Or keep it for themselves and be like, well, they made me, I'm putting this to myself. Like, leave instructions, wills, trust, write it on a napkin. I don't give a damn. Make a video, do something, right? All right. So that was about the accredited investor, and that's why the 200 or getting to $1 million in assets is important. That's where that comes from. I'm not telling you to do that because I think you want to be. I want you to make all the money. I want you to have. I want you to be able to make decisions and be involved in things that you never thought you could be involved in before. All right. So we talked about the net worth across the different cities. We talked about the accredited investors, right? All right. So now there was one more on here that I want to talk about um, here because we I could leave this for the other show. I might leave that for the other show. That makes more sense on the other show, and that makes more sense on the other show too. Hold on, I had another one. All right, here we go, right here. All right. So experts say, how much should you have in your retirement account at every stage of your life? How much do you need to have? All right, so here we go. Let me scroll down here to the thing. All right. I think that's okay. All right, let me go here because it's got a number. It's got it lined up. I'm skipping through it. I want to see where the numbers are, just where they had the numbers at. So I don't want to read it all, but I guess I will. All right, cool. All right, let's get busy. All right, so let's go up here. In your 20s, you start your career and make real money for the first time. Your spending changes. After living with your parents or the college dorm, you can afford a place of your own, right? Little trips, student loans, so forth. Before signing that apartment lease or booking a hotel for that getaway, don't forget to add one monthly bill into your budget, a contribution to your retirement account. All right, so let me stop right there. Drop in the chat the different retirement accounts. Let me see if y'all been paying attention. Drop in the chat the different retirement accounts. Let me see if y'all been paying attention. Because it's more than a 401k and an IRA. Let me see if y'all know. All right. How much you should save depends on the type of life you want to lead later. Do you envision yourself as a world traveler when you retire as a homebody? Setting goals and milestones to reach at ages 30, 40, 50, and 60 will help you have money to live when you're no longer bring in that weekly paycheck. This isn't one recipe for success when it comes to retirement planning. Each plan is unique, depends on your lifestyle, and is best designed with the assistance of a financial planner. Right? What is gonna be your lifestyle? So once you stop working, are you gonna stop living? What are the different retirement accounts? That's right. Roth, 403b. Let me pull that up for you. I talked about this before. Different retirement accounts from the IRS. Retirement plans, right? Here we go. You can have an IRA, a Roth IRA, a simple 401k, a 403b, a simple IRA plan, a SEP plan, a SRA SEP plan, payroll deduction IRAs, profit sharing plans, defined benefits, money purchase plans, employee owned, employee stock owned, governmental plans, 457. Multiple employee plans help choosing multiple employee plans, right? Does a multiple employer plan is a plan maintained by two or more employers who are not related. For more of these plans, check out the IRS manual section here. Go from there, and they have a little more definition of each one of those, right? We have the 403b. You have the SEP IRA. How much can you put into a SEP IRA right now? You should know that number. I talk about it. $61,000 is the number. 61,000. 61,000 for a SEP. All right. The money purchase plan, a money purchase plan plans have required contribution. The employer is required to make a contribution to the plan each year of the plan's participant. With a money purchase plan, the plan states that the contribution percentage that is required. For example, let's say your money purchase plan has a contribution of 5% of each eligible employee's pay. You as the employer need to make a contribution of 5% of each eligible employee's pay to their separate account. A participant's benefit is based on the amount of contributions to their account and the gains or losses associated with the account of retirement. Right? Has anybody ever heard of a money purchase plan? Never heard of that? See, employer employees, the lesser of 25% of compensation of 61,000. An annual filing of the 550 5500 form is required. A money purchase plan, right? So it's different types of plans out there, right? Different types of plans. And you need to be aware of what the company is offering you. Uh, I have a HSA and there's a match in my HSA, right? There's a match in my HSA. All right, so let's get back to it. By the time you're 30, they're saying if your salary is 75,000, if your salary is 75,000, you should have 75,000 put away. How do you do that? When starting a career, commit to automatic savings of 20% per year into your 401k, it would discipline you and live and give you the remaining 80%, right? That's why I always say that that notion of, hey, I make this amount of money, but you're not including some things, right? You're not including some things. Let me see if my calculator pops up. I don't know why it didn't pop up. Hold on. Oh, because I spelled it wrong. Hmm, calculator. All right. I've shown you this before, but if you maxing out your 401k, which is tax deferred, TSP plan, yeah, and you divide that by 12, it comes out to 1708. So you got to put away 1708 a month if you're gonna max out your 401k. All right, 1708. So I'm gonna be messy. 47,000 times point 0.7, and divide that by 12. It comes out to 20. Is that right? 2,700 a month. Is that right? 47,000 divided by 12. I mean, 47,000 minus the tax. I took out 30% for taxes because I'm assuming that you're in a state that has federal and state income, and you're left with 2,700. But you got to max out your 401k. You don't have to, but that's the preferred. So if you say that we're gonna max out 401k, you living off $1,000 a month. Can you do it? Can't pay your rent yet, but can you do it? I'll be nice. I'll just do 47,000 divided by 12. Your monthly gross is 3916. Let's say you do pre-tax monthly, right? 2208. 2208 monthly. That's without taxes, right? So again, the question is, can you afford to max out your 401k? Can you afford to max out and have the deferred tax strategy? Now, we talked about this before with the three with the three bucket strategy. We talked about this before, right? Tax now, tax deferred, and after tax or tax free. I'm really big on tax free. The only problem is tax free seems to grow slow. So you got to come up with some creative ways to get involved into tax free. What you say, they need to share expenses, live somewhere dirt cheap, or live with the family to survive and make it out. I'm all for living with the family to survive and not leaving. What you leaving for? You got a village, let the village stay there. Y'all just stack money and go buy property. I'm cool with that. I know right now, I can tell you right now, if I call my mom right now and tell her I'm coming home and living in the basement, she'd be like, yes, you shouldn't have never left the house anyway. I don't know what you're out there for. And D can vouch for that. D, you think my mom would be excited to be have me in the basement? The question is, could I make it? That's the question. She'll like, she mad now. You all the way out there in Colorado. You're so far away. You're so far. My mom would be like, true story, when I got married and moved to Hawaii, my mom was like, why are you doing this to us? Like, You ain't got to leave. You ain't got to go. He can go. You can stay. Let him go do what he need to do. You stay here and go to school. Mm-hmm. Boy, you let my mama tell it, boy. You let my family tell it. I should have never left. I should still be in the house, in the room, next to my mama, just getting up and going to work. Long as you come back. You only gone temporary, long as you come back. Boy, let me tell you, they be like, "Shh, you need to come home now. When you gonna come home?" I'm only child, so they always like something's gonna happen to you out there. Somebody gonna call through the window and get you. Right? That's how they think. All right, back to my. Oh, I closed my window out. I'm sorry. Let me bring it back over. I closed my window where we was at. It was in our 30s. What y'all need to have is money. Got sidetracked with your 1708. I couldn't find it. All right, so all right, 30, 75. All right, here we go. More planning. Age 30, planning starts in your 20s. Many Americans don't sign up for 401ks in their 20s, meaning they aren't taking advantage of potential employer match. An employer match on your 401k is free money, but roughly a quarter of employees are leaving free money on the table by not taking advantage of their match, right? He also added that in some cases, planning for retirement can trump down paying down debt. All right. I know, I know, I know. Many young people work with hate being in debt and strive to pay off debt as quickly as possible. So the money guy talks about this. Should you pay off your house first? Should you pay down your debt first and then start saving? And their strategy is pay invest first. Let that money make money and then pay down your debt. And I'm going to simply say to you, I think it depends on your debt. Like if you signed up for a house and you got a mortgage over 15 years and you don't invest for 15 years, that doesn't make sense to me, right? You can put something on it to pay it down. You can pay on the principal, but I also think you need to be aware of paying down your investing and paying down your debt. Two can be true at the same time. You may invest more into one than the other, right? It says that this is abnormal, but sometimes it simply doesn't make sense to aggressively pay down debt instead of saving. While eliminating debt is important, you also need to prioritize saving for your future. We consider any debt with an interest rate over 7% to be good debt, and suggest saving some of your money before aggressively paying down that debt. Both Fidelity at 40, both Fidelity and Ally Bank recommend having 3 times your annual salary put away for your for at the age of 40. So if you make 50,000, you should at least have 150,000. If you make 200,000, you should have 600,000. Is what they're saying. 3 times the amount. 3 times the amount. If you don't have a retirement savings strategy as part of your overall financial planning by this point, don't delay, one expert said. Um, every household, regardless of their net worth or stage of life, owes it to themselves to create a comprehensive and individualized plan. And here's the complete retirement planner right here, right? By the age of 40, resist the temptation. Most common mistakes that people make is let their spending increase consumer with their new salary. For instance, people move into bigger apartments or buy a more expensive car or home to reward themselves for receiving the raise. Dr. John R. Johnson, a professor of finance at Hyder College of Business at Accredited University, Creation University. What happens is they are unable to improve their financial condition because they spent everything they make. People are wise to effectively invest any money from a rise as if you didn't receive the raise. That is continue to live the same lifestyle you led before receiving a raise and invest the difference. An example will help illustrate how investing a raise can help build true long-term wealth. Suppose one receives 5,000 annual raise early in one's career. If you simply invest in 5,000 annually into an investment account, growing at 10% at a 10% annual rate, you have accumulated 822,000 in 30 years, right? 50, 5x. Ally Bank recommends 50-year-olds should have 5 times their annual income. So if you making 300,000, right, you should have 5 times your annual income, right? 300,000 times 5, right? You should be 5xing, right? It says Fidelity is more aggressive and they want you to be at six times your annual income. If you find that you've fallen behind in your retirement savings, was diverted to other expenses such as college tuition and children, you can make catch up with your contributions with an extra $7,000 this year from IRS. At age 50, cut the cost, cut the cord. In the first few years of the decade of that decade, your children might be out of the house, and you might not need the 4 bedroom colonial anymore. It could be time to downsize. And then even if you have paid it off, it may be time to downsize because you got to maintain that that house. You may have stairs. You don't want to walk upstairs anymore. You don't even go upstairs anymore. You only live in 2 or 3 rooms. It depends. If you owned your home for a year, chances are you could be sitting on some equity you can put away for retirement. Or what today's attractive interest rates, you could buy a less expensive home and slash your monthly mortgage, right? You tired not the wrong person. Fees impact every age, but as you get older, your balance will start getting larger, and those fees will really add up. He said, "All right." So they talk about the fees here, but let me see. At 60, you need the 7x. So whatever that is, whatever income you earn, it says you should have 7 times your annual earnings saved in retirement. Ally recommends Fidelity again, more aggressive says 8 times. And that's what you should have say the age 60 reduce the risk. That's when I think you start looking at your Roth conversions and so forth. Right? Your Roth conversions and so forth. Right? And again, this is not financial advice. We're not financial advisors. I'm just giving you what I've seen in the industry and what people are doing and where things are at, right? And last but not least, because I know we're over in time, I think our other show actually starts now. We're over, but let me get this last one in. This came from Forbes, and I have more stuff. I'll finish it off probably on another show. But the best passive income ideas, right? Best passive income ideas. Okay, thank you. What is passive income? Passive income refers to income that does not need a significant commitment of your time or money. Although most passive income ideas involve some initial resources, they should require only minimal monitoring on an ongoing basis. There are 3 types of passive income streams: investing, and they have generating a return from investing money in the stock market. Again, you can go straight into ETFs. You can go straight into just funds. You could do, to me, you can invest in REITs, REITs. You can go and invest in I bonds. Conservative passive income, like okay, inflation is high. We know it's above 9%. They say it's 9, but we know it's above that, right? But we also know that right now, people are happy right now with getting a return of 5%, 8%, 10%, and so forth. So you can invest in some slow growth. You can do slow growth. That's okay. I get 5% on this money. I'm fine with that, right? Another one is asset sharing, selling or renting out assets you own, such as your house or your car. You can rent your driveway out. Remember, I showed you about renting your driveway, rent your driveway. In some of these cities, this is probably like San Francisco or something. It's probably a good one. Spacer, right? You can make up to $450 a month by renting your driveway out. Here's another: rent your driveway out by neighbor, right? Make $50 to $100 a month by renting out your empty driveway to a neighbor. It's easy, right? You rent your driveway out. Somebody need to park a boat or something like that. You can rent it. You can rent that space out. You want to park your boat on the side of the house? Sure, no problem. You want to park your boat in the back? No problem. I got this land you can park your RV on, right? We have people out there that's gonna watch it. I don't know. Have you all seen the? Because some people don't keep their cars in their house. I mean, pull it up here. Um, see, car garage. I think it's in Europe and it's heated. I haven't seen those here. I'm gonna have to look. It's exotic, and all they do is maintain your car for you. That's all they do. They make sure that your car is heated properly, the battery doesn't die, and so forth. I'm trying to find this car garage where they part where they go in, they wash it, they clean it, the whole nine. It's a guy that I was looking at in Europe that had it. But this ain't it.
While many of us may have one,
This is it's saying garages, but that's not what I wanted. This is an older one. I have to find it and I'll post it on the channel, so you can see these car garages, and how they maintain the battery, make sure the tire pressure is accurate. Again, that's what they do. That's just what they do. All right, so let me see. Two next on that. Passive income. We talked about that. I talk about some other stuff on the other show. I'm not gonna hold this show up longer. Make sure I got everything that could be on this show on here. Well, we'll talk about that on the other one. This one we could talk about this now because I kind of brought this. Not kind of. I did bring this up last week. Family offices. So I found this family office, and they have some videos out on their thing about what they invest in and what they look to invest in for their people. I found them Park Family Office. I found them in searching in the Business Journal about Park Family Office and who and what they invest in and what they're looking for. They're based out of Utah. Back to Utah. Back to Utah. They're based out of Utah, and Park Family Office mean our team. What is a family office? Park City Family Office celebrate 1 year and what they do. Right. This one is only 56 seconds long. Hold on. It would have come up. Oh, that sucks.
as an estate planning attorney, I have a focus on helping clients with their estate planning. But what I often discover is all the advisors that are assembled for a client don't often collaborate. And clients often have a difficult time bringing all of these advisors together to help them. So the idea behind a family office is to create an environment where advisors collaborate, or the family office itself becomes the hub in which key decisions are made. Tax strategies are employed. Estate planning documents are reviewed and critiqued and updated. But the family office brings together professional support and advice for the family all year long.
Imagine what their turn is, right? So here's their website, Park Family Office. and what they talk about and do. And they also have a little brochure here. Park City Family often works with affluent families who aspire to preserve their family's legacy for generations. All right. These families are focused on wealth creating events and generational issues that follow. Our team creates solutions that are tailored to meet the individual needs of every family. Right? We provide highly specialized multidisciplinary team of professionals that work in harmony to support your unique needs, from attorneys, investment bankers, wealth strategists, to accountants and bookkeepers, all under one roof. We are cash, debt, and its expansion management, estate planning, tax planning, bookkeeping and bill pay, philanthropic strategy, portfolio management, family legacy, insurance consultation. Look to build your family office. Starting at, I think, 10 million is when you can start with your family office, right? So just think about it. Just something to put out there. Just throwing that out there. All right. All right. So everybody wanted to break. We're gonna break now. We're gonna have a brief intermission. Yep. Yep. Look at family office, right? As you continue to build, right? So you can have your family office, and now you can start. I think this is the key right here that I like. That I was reading that they said they do that makes sense. I would love to know more about it, right? um, to preserve their family's legacy for generations. These families are focused on wealth creating events and generational issues that follow. Our team creates solutions that are tailored to meet the individual needs and the goals of every family. We provide a highly specialized, multidisciplinary team of professionals that work in harmony to support your unique needs, from attorneys, investment bankers, and strategists. Wealth strategists. That's what I want to look at. That right there. All right. So everybody need a break. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened to him, D. They're getting soft on me, D. They're getting soft. I'm just playing. They're getting soft on me. We need a break. We don't take no breaks right here. Team no sleep. Team no eat. Team no sleep. Team no eat. I swear. They're getting soft on me. I gotta put my blockers on. Getting soft on me out here. What the hell going on? You don't need no snacks. Team no sleep. Team no eat. F your snacks. I just said, all right, we'll take a break. I don't know when the next show starts. Is it 3 o'clock now? We're gonna put that on the shirt. What'd you say, D? I'm waiting on D to let me know when the next show starts. Team no sleep. Team no eat. Well, you put it. Oh, you put it in the private chat. I'm looking in the main chat. You put it in the private chat. Okay. So about 3 o'clock, 30 minutes. You need 30 minutes, D? 15 minutes? D said 15 minutes. 15 minutes. Be back in 15 minutes for the next show. All right. See y'all later. Or see you in 15 minutes. Could have just kept going.